We're here to talk about the weekend's biggest recruiting developments. There was college football played all over the country. Recruits were out on the sidelines watching some of these big games, so we are here to talk about it today. But guys, do me a favor before we get started, hit subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel. We talk recruiting 24/7, so lock in and hit subscribe. All right, let's talk about these developments. At the top, quarterback Julian Lewis back in Boulder. The USC commit, the elite quarterback from Carrollton, Georgia, was on the sidelines on Saturday. Now, this was Juju's fourth visit to Colorado this year. He's been to USC twice already this season, so it was very big for him to make it back to Boulder. Remember, there's rumors that he was going to pop up at Indiana last week, but that never transpired. He did not make it in. Then word was buzzing all week that Juju would be in Colorado. On3, Steve Wiltfong was the first to report that he would indeed be visiting for the Cincinnati game, which was huge. He made it. Looked like he had a great time. He watched Shedeur and Travis put on a show in prime time in front of a sellout crowd at Folsom Field. It was an environment that it makes you wonder, if you put yourself in Julian Lewis's shoes, was he sitting there in the stands envisioning himself in the black and gold? Now, still committed to USC. Coming out of the weekend, there's no change in that. But it was a great opportunity for the Buffs to put it all on display. And it wasn't just a huge recruiting weekend in general. Remember, they added wide receiver Adrian Wilson. He committed on Friday. Offensive tackle Carday Smith, he was on campus for an official visit. He's also committed to USC. So you had two USC commitments sitting together in the stands. So we'll see what happens. But coming out of the weekend, it seems like Carday Smith is trending to Colorado. We'll see if he actually flips, but Julian Lewis back in Boulder was definitely the headlining visit of the weekend. All right, next topic. Mario Cristobal's recruiting takeover. The Miami Hurricanes, they didn't just win a football game 36-14 on Saturday. They made a statement.
All recruits, in-state, out-of-state, can now clearly see the trajectory of this program versus the trajectory of the other programs.
Do that right? All right. So beating FSU, it meant that Miami now had soundly beat both in-state rivals this season with ease. And Mario Cristobal, he took a moment to state the obvious at this point, that there's one program at the top of the state in Florida, and that's important to recruits to know. They need to know who's trending in which direction. And this was simply Mario Cristobal marking that Florida is his territory. Remember, Florida is a territory that every team in the country recruits, whether you're Penn State to Oregon to Texas, Ohio State, everybody in the country feeds off Florida talent. But Mario did a good job here of making it known who runs the state of Florida right now. So it's still early. You know how the Canes like to recruit down the stretch. Look for some fireworks as we head towards signing day. All right. Jakeem Stewart's bonus visit to Colorado. The number 3 defensive lineman in America, number 15 overall, was back in Columbus. And I think it was really important because just when it seemed like Jakeem Stewart recruitment was turning into a USC, Oregon, LSU battle with maybe Ohio State on the outside looking in, the Buckeyes get Stewart back on campus for a bonus visit. Now, why do I call this a bonus visit? Because he has a scheduled official visit to Columbus the weekend Ohio State plays Michigan at the end of November. There was a likely chance that that would be the next time he was on campus, but instead he pops up for an unofficial visit. Buckeyes don't have to wait that long to get Stewart back on campus. And this makes this recruitment extremely hard for me to decipher. What do you guys got? You know, you got LSU as the in-state team. You got Oregon and USC. They both had great visits to both schools recently. And now you get Ohio State getting him in for this unofficial visit, as we know he's going to return for that official visit for the Michigan game. So how do you guys read this recruitment right now? I need some help. All right, moving on. Anthony Crua, the linebacker, flips to UGA. This is one has been trending in Georgia's direction for the past few weeks. He was committed to North Carolina, but they had a disappointing season, and I'm sure that had a lot to do with it. But also the opportunity to play and be developed by that Georgia Bulldog coaching staff. That's a strong pull. He's also from Marietta, Georgia. Now, yeah, he made that early commitment to Mack Brown and USC, but then the season came. And it now seems like Crua is staying home with a big flip to the Georgia Bulldogs. All right, the last big development I want to talk about from the weekend was wide receiver CJ Wiley decommitting from FSU. FSU now down to 0 wide receiver commitments in their 2025 class. CJ Wiley shocked everyone by picking FSU over LSU and Georgia. That was a shocker because he's from the state of Georgia. Most people thought, hey, if he does leave the state, it's going to be LSU. Not really out of nowhere, they were in his top 3, but none of the experts really were giving FSU a shot back when he made his decision. And then the season started, and FSU's season, I think, shocked Wiley by the way the Seminoles have played this season. FSU's 2025 class now in a full-on death spiral after losing key recruits like Myron Charles, Javian Hilson on the defensive line. Now they lose their top wide receiver and only wide receiver commitment in this class. And for FSU, remember, not too long ago, they were in the top 10. I think it was right in the beginning of summer, in June, maybe even top 5. Last week, they were hanging at number 18. Today, they've spiraled down to 23, but the pain, it might not be over. On 3, Steve Wilfong just dropped a new prediction for FSU top tight end commitment, Chase Lofton to flip to Nebraska. Ouch. All right, you guys, let me know. What do you think were the biggest developments to you over the weekend? Let me know. Comment section below.